Hello everyone and welcome to the F1 challenge. Today I'll be doing a 100% race around Japan, and as you can see before you, we have a wheel full of challenges. So we got all 5 tyre compounds, 5 pit stops, 1 sector down, lap down challenge, lift and coast for the whole of lap 1, pit intermediate tyres lap 1, pit wet tyres lap 1, and 4 pit stops. So we'll see what challenge we get. Here we go. It looks like we're getting the 4 pit stop challenge, so let's get right into the action. So as you can see before you, my assist, we're running traction control off, all assists off I think except ABS, but let's get right into the action.
And a very warm welcome to the Japanese Grand Prix, an event that has decided a Drivers' Championship 11 times over the years and has hosted some very memorable races as well. Who can forget Kimi Raikkonen's win from 17th on the grid in 2005, or Kamui Kobayashi's incredible drive to a podium in 2012. A lap of this historic racetrack covers 3.6 miles. And it's the only time during the season that we race on a figure-of-8 racetrack. The drivers can expect some intense G-forces through the 18 corners on offer here as they experience some of the highest average apex speeds on the Formula One calendar. And keep an eye out for overtakes going into the final chicane. I'm joined again today by none other than Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, obviously there's a lot of development work that goes on with these cars between the races. You've been both a test driver and a race driver. What differences are there in the way you approach those roles?
Interesting question, Crofty. They're two very different mindsets. I mean, when I tested for BAR, we had full in-season testing where, per driver, you'd cover up to 15,000 kilometers per season. And in that role, it was more about working for the team, trying to help them improve the car and drive as systematically as you could, so that that data could be analysed in the most consistent way. When you're lining up on the grid for a race, however, your frame of mind's all about what you can get out of the situation on that day, and the car's the tool to help you achieve what you want. You still want to focus on setup, of course, but it's more about the here and now, getting yourself as far up the field as possible, and less about development work for the future.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. Romain Grosjean lines up on pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Raikkonen, Ocon, Sergio Perez and Bottas, Hamilton, Verstappen, Ricciardo and Fernando Alonso, Massa, Hülkenberg, Jolyon Palmer and Stroll, Van Dorn, Sainz, Daniel Kvyat and Marcus Ericsson. Wehrlein and a Haas rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
So yeah, we'll be starting last after taking a grid penalty.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Yeah, just Jeff on the mic there. So now we're going to look at our setup. So we're going for a 4-stop as we found in our challenge wheel. So we're just going to set the tyres here. So we're going starting on the mediums. Going 2 sets at 2 soft tyre stints, then finishing on 2 super soft tyre stints so we can try push for that fastest lap. But into the race we go now. We have formation lap. Just revving up the engine there. So P20 we start, and we'll be on the medium tyres. Trying to get some warmth into the tyres. Yeah, so I'd just like to talk about this game actually. F1 2017 for today, not F1 2020, because F1 2017 is one of the games that I really found that I enjoyed a lot, because the AI aren't ridiculously overpowered and the AI seem to suit my ability perfectly, so we have some great racing, and yeah, I really enjoy racing on this game on the PS4. Yeah, just trying to get some heat into our tyres now as we follow Pascal Wehrlein. So in terms of the championship, we have myself actually leading, and we got some close challenges from the likes of Perez, Grosjean, Vettel, Raikkonen, and hopefully it can be a great finale this weekend. This weekend I will try and get it all finished. But yeah, just getting that warmth into our tyres as we try to get that perfect 100 degrees. Seems that the rear tyres are heating up a little bit more for this formation lap. And now we line up on the grid. Grosjean takes pole position. I think Ocon managed to get second here, but he's a long way down the championship after a lack of reliability and some incidents earlier on in the season. But here we go then, lining up on the grid as we wait for the 5 red lights for this race to get underway. So here we look towards the 5 red lights. It's Grosjean on pole, Vettel second, Raikkonen third, Ocon fourth. As lights out, away we go. Grosjean is on to a great getaway. Ocon is up the inside, the 2 Ferraris. He's going to make a double overtake into turn 1. On top right of the screen, you can see myself trying to make my way through some traffic. Here we have Ocon, who's managed to find himself into P2. Raikkonen goes right around the outside of him for a great overtake there. And yeah, Grosjean's absolutely left the field for dead there. It's miles off into the distance as we have Massa and no, that's Stroll and Ricciardo going side by side. Ricciardo's off the track onto the gravel and he just about rejoins in front of Jolyon Palmer as we go back to the replay of the start. So you have myself starting P20, Pascal Wehrlein just ahead of me, Danny Kvyat just ahead of him, and we got the inside of 3 cars, but we have to be cautious here because our front wing is at risk. So we just checked the damage. There's no damage. Luckily we've escaped without damage, and we move further on into that lap where we do a double overtake up the inside of Kvyat and Ericsson, and Ericsson just about hangs it around the outside of us there. But we're going to come back, go up the inside of Ericsson, go up the inside of Van Dorn as well. Van Dorn's going to try to hold it around the outside, and he's just about got the position. But have we got the straight line speed to go past? We go round the outside. A great move into the spoon curve. And you can see, we run wide, very wide there. But we keep the position as we now chase after Carlos Sainz, I think that is. We're going to try and make the move. We're held up by Sainz into 130R, but we're going to go out the inside and cut in front of him and Palmer. And we've gone right off the track. We're going to rejoin just in front of Palmer, round the outside. We've got the line, we've got the straight line speed, and we just run away with it. But back to a replay of that, you can see the onboard of myself and Sainz, and we absolutely just cut in front of both of them. And absolutely overshoot the corner, but we keep the position, and yeah, just trying to keep our car on the road. Carlos Sainz makes a move on Palmer. Can he go up the inside into turn 1? Oh, it's a bit of wheel banging going on as we head into the S's. And he's made the move stick. Great work. So now we have a bit of space between us and the car ahead. I think that's Max Verstappen this time. But we need to get a move on if we want to progress further up the field. Is it Verstappen or is it Ricciardo? I think it might be Ricciardo actually. But yeah, we head into the tight hairpin. This is a very good overtaking spot for myself, I must admit. So we head into spoon curve again. Just look at the onboard in the top right of the screen. You can see that we go a bit wide there, get a little track extending warning, and gonna ride on board with Vettel, Ocon, Raikkonen in second place. He's actually maintaining the gap to Grosjean, who's out in the lead of this race. Grosjean sets the fastest lap, P1 of the race, and he's absolutely managing his pace, managing his tyres, doing a great job for the team and for his championship. He's actually the reigning champion in this career mode. If you watched the end of last year, he won that championship. So we're just trying to put pressure on the cars ahead. We are on the slowest compounded tyre, mediums, but we've got a good car beneath us. And we need to put the pressure on if we want to get points in this race. So we go for a late dive bomb on Ricciardo, force him onto the gravel again. Ricciardo seeming to love that gravel today. But we've made the move stick. Now we're going to chase after the Williams cars. Riding on board with Ricciardo. Yeah, he's lapping a little bit slower than us. A little bit slower on the straights as well. But he sits in our slipstream as we approach 130R. And we cut to the off-board camera. Gonna go for a late dive bomb once again on Lance Stroll. That came out of nowhere. Well, we made it stick once again. And now the two cars ahead, Massa, and I think that is... who is it? Hulkenberg. Oh, Hulkenberg's forced off the track there by Felipe Massa. And Massa takes the position. Massa's on an absolute charge here. Taking position after position. Now we're going to try and put a move on Hulkenberg. Can we do it into this corner? Or we're going to go for a late move up the inside. He leaves the door open. And we just slot through there. Nice position gain. And we're up a position into P11. So we need to chase after Massa now. Try and get into the points of this race. So we cut to the next lap where we're going into the tight hairpin. And can we put a move on Massa here as we go into spoon, or are we going to wait for the straight? We're gaining 190 miles an hour. And we're up the inside of him into spoon corner, doing what Vettel couldn't do back in 2018. And now we're going to chase after the McLaren. We're a bit far back, but let's not forget that this is 2017, the McLaren Honda, and we're going to gain a huge amount into 130R, 200 miles an hour, flying up the inside of Fernando Alonso there. A beautiful overtake. And we're up into P9. So we cut to lap 11 now, and I think we got some cars in the pits. I think that's Vettel making his first pit stop, trying to get the undercut on all the guys ahead. And we're going to be up there into P8. We cut to lap 12, and we got Bottas in the pit lane. And now we're really putting the pressure on Max Verstappen. We make a move into turn 1. I don't think so. I think we're just going to bide our time. But it's Verstappen and Hamilton just up ahead. In the battle for P4. But we need to get P5 first. Throwing it into that corner. We're in rich mix, so we're definitely trying to put on the pressure. Probably going to size up for a move on the straight, unless we can do it here. We're a bit far back, but we're gaining once again like we did on Massa. It's going to be 190 miles an hour into the spoon curve. And we're up the inside of Max Verstappen to take 5th place. As we cut just a couple of laps later before our pit stop. And now we're under pressure from Max Verstappen as our tyres are going off. Even though they're mediums, they seem to be overheating in our Haas F1 car. So yeah, we needed to make an early pit stop. Especially now that we're doing the 4-stop challenge. Yeah, heading into spoon curve once again. We run wide and we make a mistake. We're onto the grass and Verstappen's around the outside. Can he make the move? Do we have the straight line speed to keep ahead with side by side? We're going to have to decide who's leading the race. Into the 130R. And we maintain that P5 position. And then we're going to come straight into the pit lane for our first pit stop of the race. So we're going to be putting on a set of soft tyres for this stint. And Hamilton comes in just ahead of us. Where is he going to emerge from the pits? So that's behind the battle of 3 cars. And then there's Ocon, I think that might be. So we come out behind Hulkenberg and Bottas is going to go right around the outside of Hulkenberg there to take the position. So now there's a car in between myself and Bottas. But just look how much we're catching Hulkenberg in these S's. His tyre's really gone off. And we need to make this move ASAP so we can then chase after Bottas. We're going to do it into here. Not quite. We flick it up into rich mix. And it's going to be another move up the inside of the hairpin. And we're up into P13 there. So cutting to the end of lap 16, we've got a few more cars in the pits. That's Ricciardo, Massa and Alonso. And we're back up into P10, so points playing positions for us. Now we're going to look at the rear of Bottas. Can we do a move on him into 130? Oh, we're a lot further back, and this isn't a McLaren Honda this time, so we're not going to get the overtake done before 130R. Going to have to wait till the end of this straight. We're going to go on the outside or the inside. The outside opens up and we're late on the brakes. Up the inside and past Valtteri Bottas. As we head into lap 18, and there's a big battle going on ahead for P5. I think that's a Force India going up the inside of Vettel and Hamilton just behind. We're going to see the gap around the outside of Hamilton. We're going side by side into the S's and Hamilton's round. Hamilton's on the gravel. What's going to happen here? He's stuck. He's absolutely stuck. And he's going to try and rejoin the circuit. And he stopped his car in a very dangerous place. And Massa's going to smash into his car. Oh my goodness. And this created a huge pile up. What is going on here? So we have a replay of that. Hamilton. What happened there? So we had the Force India of Perez and Vettel battling for position. Hamilton had nowhere to go, so I just went around the outside of him into the S's. You can see, and then he just he went for a gap that wasn't there. And then what happened is unbelievable. So Hamilton tried to rejoin the track. He got confused and he stopped on the track. Massa goes flying into the back of him, and then there's just a massive train. Verstappen takes damage, and they see a slow motion replay. Unfortunate incident that takes out Massa and Hamilton, the two who battled in 2008, and then the following years. No love lost between those two. But we cut to later in that lap where we are under pressure from Bottas after having made that overtake on the lap previously. And we approach the hairpin. Cutting to lap 23 now. I think we may have someone in the pits. Yeah, it's Vettel again, going for that early pit stop. As we set a 1:33 lap time. Running wide at Spoon Curve in lap 27. Are we going to be under pressure here? No. Oh, we've actually created a little bit of a gap to Bottas, but Perez ahead has got away from us. But yeah, I think you could hear Jeff on the mic there and advising us to pit this lap, so I think we're going to come in. Still an R4 stop strategy. No safety cars, unfortunately, to help us. But yeah, into the pits we come. To fit another set of softs, maybe? Yep, another set of softs. 2.2 second pit stop. And we're going to emerge in clean air. No one around us, so we can pump in those fast laps now. Then cutting on later, we have Kimi Räikkönen. We haven't spoke about much in this race, but he's been quietly in P2 of this race. Just minding his own business. No one around him, no one too close behind, no one in front. I think he's coming up to a pack of lapped cars now. And into Spoon Curve we go once again. So, yeah, we're just going to ride on board with him, so you can watch some smooth driving. And he goes up the inside of Ricciardo. I don't know why Ricciardo's a lap down actually. I think I missed something there. But now he's going to go up the inside of Sainz. And now he has to lap Alonso. And oh, Alonso's going to pass on the apex. And they've collided! Alonso has caused an accident with Kimi Räikkönen. And Räikkönen, oh, you can see a massive bit off his front wing there. The end plate has gone. The winglets are gone. And that is going to really affect him. So he's going to come into the pits at the end of that lap. That's a bit unfortunate. But I'm not sure how far ahead he is of the car behind. But he might still retain P2. If I'm not wrong. Can't see anyone around him. Anyway, we cut back to ourselves and we're under pressure from Bottas now. As he's switched to the super softs while we're still on softs. And he's trying to close the gap. But we've got the straight line speed to stay ahead of him for now. So entering lap 34. Let's see what my lap time is. So we've done a 1:31.8. Oh, it looks like there's some yellow flags up ahead. I don't know. Oh, it's Kimi Räikkönen! Just out of the pits! And he's got an engine failure. And that's going to be him out of the race. He's going to park up next to the P0 sign. And that's the end of his race. Räikkönen is out. Out of the running. And we're up into P6 as a result. Still under pressure from Bottas, but yeah, we just keep driving. Cutting down to lap 42. You can now see in our mirrors none other than Romain Grosjean, who's been driving so fast in this race. He's managed to lap us in lap 42. And yeah, I don't really want to let him go just yet. So riding on board with Grosjean. I can see the Red Bull in front of me. Want to try and get him in between myself and Grosjean. That's the aim. Because I do not want to be lapped by my teammate. And here we go on the inside, but it absolutely works against us. And Grosjean is just going to have a clean run past us. Past the Red Bull. And now there's no one in front of me. No Grosjean behind me. And yeah, there's not really much we can do other than let him through at this point. So we're going to run wide into the exit of Spoon Corner. Hoping that we can get a slipstream, but we let him go a bit too much there. And running line has done 2 Haas's, 2 Red Bulls. Both being lapped by our teammates. That's me and myself and Ricardo. And yeah, into the next lap we go. Grosjean is absolutely on fire today. Madness. We haven't really seen him since the start, but he's just been flying around, setting 128s, 129s. And yeah, setting the pace of this race. Great job from his side. As we cut now to the final lap, it's going to be a great homecoming for Romain Grosjean, who's absolutely dominated this race. Funnily enough, he led a few laps here back in 2012, 2013, I think it was, back in the Lotus. But he's going to put it to justice now. Do the justice and win this race. Lapping 3rd place man Sebastian Vettel in the process. Unbelievably dominant drive. For a race with no safety cars. He rounds the final chicane. The final corner. It's going to be Romain Grosjean, the winner of the Japanese Grand Prix in 2020. What a race. As we cut back to ourselves in P6. I think we're going for a fastest lap at this point, but we're a bit down in Sector 1. Sector 2. We're up, but in 0.0. I don't think it's going to be enough. Gonna do everything we can. We just cut the last corner of the race. And it's going to be around the final corner, hugging the inside wall. And it's a 128.7, but Grosjean managed to do a 128.4 as he dominated this race. Driver of the day. And that's it. Great race. Haas on pole position. Haas winning the race. And good. That'll be a happy day for Günther Steiner. Woof. That was good fun.
The difference was clearly in the strategy. You could tell they'd done a lot of work on the pit wall to really optimise each stint and get the most out of the tyres. And it highlights just how much of a team sport this really is. But credit to the driver.
His first race
no
win.
Good having a well-oiled machine behind the scenes without a talented
This season.
of course.
There aren't many teams, you know, as they come out onto the podium now, who could do what Haas have managed to accomplish here. It's hard to believe just how competitive they've already become. An amazing victory.
There we have it. Great to see Ocon on the podium as well. Ocon on Vettel. 2nd and 3rd.
And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. Well, the lead at the top has come down after a poor result for our points leader. Now then, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Today, I think I'll give it to the Haas driver. Look at where they finished compared to where they started. It's not easy to cut through the field like that in Formula 1, so it was a great effort.
On to the constructors then. Haas move further ahead at the top of the standings. Meanwhile, Renault move up the table with another strong performance this weekend. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
Yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. We're going to take a look at the championship standings now. And yeah, you can see that we're in first place, 9 points ahead of Perez, 12 points ahead of Grosjean, and then we got Hamilton, Vettel, Raikkonen, and Bottas, all close. We'll see if they can catch up and have a chance in the finale of taking that illustrious championship. But yeah, oh, Grosjean, yeah, fastest lap. I said 128.4 earlier, it's actually a 128.5. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next one.